stop. If you hold a green card or plan to get one soon, this video might be the most important thing you watch in 2025 because right now, USCIS just flipped the script, changing the very rules that control how immigrants live, travel, pay taxes, and even claim government benefits in the United States. We're talking about linked travel records, tax returns tied to residency, and new surveillance on time spent outside the U.S. One mistake, just one, could cost you your green card or your path to citizenship, so don't go anywhere. This isn't just a policy shift, it's a total reset. And whether you're from India, the Caribbean, Africa, Asia, or Latin America, this affects you. Segment 1. What did USCIS just change? Let's begin with the big question. What's the reset all about? As of August of 2025, USCIS, U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, has implemented a wide-reaching overhaul of how green card holders are tracked, monitored, and evaluated, particularly regarding international travel tax compliance, public benefits usage, and your intent to remain permanently in the U.S. Previously, many rules were loosely enforced. People could leave the U.S. for months, sometimes years, without serious consequences. Not anymore. Now, USCIS is using new data-sharing tools with Customs and IRS, automatically flagging green card holders who spend too much time outside the country, don't file taxes properly, or access U.S. benefits while residing abroad. This is no longer about filling out a form. It's about being watched in real time. Segment 2, International Travel. You're being tracked. Let's talk travel. Did you know that in 2025, every time you leave or enter the U.S., the Department of Homeland Security logs your date of exit, the country visited, your length of stay abroad, and your declared reason for travel? But here's what's changed. USCIS now automatically receives this data. And if you've been out of the country for 6 months or more, they may presume that you've abandoned your permanent resident status. You heard that right. Unless you applied for a reentry permit, or you can prove a valid reason, like medical emergency or work duty, your green card could be flagged for review. Or worse, revoked at your next reentry. And for those taking long trips every year to visit family, run businesses, or avoid U.S. expenses, this is a major red alert. Segment 3, Taxes. Your residency is now tied to the IRS. Here's where it gets even more serious. In 2025, green card holders are now required to prove U.S. tax residency, not just for income earned in the U.S., but for worldwide income. Failing to file U.S. tax returns as a permanent resident could now trigger an IRS flagged alert to USCIS. Be considered evidence that you're not intending to live permanently in the U.S., or even disqualify you from naturalization. USCIS and the IRS are working together more than ever. If you skip filing taxes or claim non-resident status to avoid foreign income taxes, it can be considered fraud or grounds for green card cancellation, even if you live abroad most of the year. If you want to keep your green card, you must file as a U.S. tax resident. Segment 4, Benefits now under scrutiny. Now, let's address benefits. Many immigrants use public services for their children, like Medicaid, food programs, or housing assistance. But the 2025 update reactivates and expands the public charge rule, which was previously suspended. Now, if you access public benefits for more than 12 months over a 3-year period, it could be used against you in green card renewals, adjustment of status, or naturalization interviews. In short, using benefits while also living outside the U.S. or not paying U.S. taxes is now a big red flag. Segment 5, Intent to reside. Now being evaluated continuously. USCIS is no longer waiting for interviews to assess whether you intend to live permanently in the U.S. Now, they're checking your time inside versus outside the U.S., your U.S. address versus foreign property ownership, where your family lives, whether your bank accounts, work, and daily life are based in America. This residency check is now continuous and data-driven, meaning even if you aren't applying for anything, your behavior can still be reviewed at any moment. Segment 6, Can they really do this? Is it legal? Let's pause and ask the question millions are now asking. Can the U.S. government really monitor my travel, taxes, and benefits? and use that to take away my green card? The answer, plain and simple, is yes. And not only can they already are. The legal foundation lies in the Immigration and Nationality Act, INA, the very law that created the green card in the first place. The INA has always included a rule. If you abandon your intention to live permanently in the United States, you can lose your lawful permanent resident status. But in the past, USCIS relied on interviews, paperwork, or airport inspections to prove that. Now, in 2025, they don't have to ask. They can see it themselves through biometric facial recognition at airports, IRS data sharing agreements, customs entry-exit tracking, Social Security and benefits record integration, foreign asset reports from banks under the FATCA agreement. In other words, you may never be told directly, but your file could be flagged by an algorithm. Your case could be marked, question intent to reside, and you could be called into an interview with zero warning. Is it legal? Yes. Is it fair? That's debatable. But is it happening? Without question. So if you've ever thought, they won't care if I stay abroad for a while, that assumption could now be the most dangerous mistake of your immigration journey. Segment 7. What you must do now. Your green card survival plan. Now that we understand the threat, what can you do to protect your future? Here's your 2025 green card survival plan. 1. Keep your travel under 6 months. Always. If you must leave the US, make sure your trip is less than 180 days. If it's longer, get a reentry permit first. Always keep boarding passes, hospital records, family documentation, and any evidence explaining why you left. Why? Because next time you re-enter the US, a CBP officer can ask for it, or worse, deny your re-entry if they believe you've abandoned residency. 2. File your US taxes every year, on time, even if you live abroad, even if you earn money in your home country. Green card holders are treated like US citizens for tax purposes, and skipping your return can trigger an IRS USCIS audit match. If the IRS flags that you haven't filed, USCIS can view it as intent to reside elsewhere. Tip: consult a tax professional who understands expat tax law and Form 2555, Foreign Earned Income Exclusion. 3. Avoid public benefits unless you truly need them. Even benefits for your US-born children can be tracked and used against you during status renewal or naturalization interviews. The public charge rule is now back in effect, and stronger than before. It's not just about what you claim, it's about the total picture. Are you self-sufficient? Are you contributing to society? 4. Keep US-based ties strong and documented. This is key to proving your intent to reside in the United States. Examples include a long-term lease or mortgage, a full-time job with a U.S. company, U.S. health insurance, kids enrolled in U.S. schools, regular bank activity inside the U.S. The more ties you show, the stronger your defense if ever questioned. 5. Consider applying for U.S. citizenship sooner. A green card is not forever. It can be challenged, revoked, or denied renewal. But U.S. citizenship is permanent. Once you qualify, usually after 5 years of continuous residence, apply. It's the only true protection. Segment 8. How this impacts families, future travel, and dual citizens. Now let's go one level deeper, because this reset isn't just about you as an individual. It's about your family, your future, and your freedom to move globally. Green card holders, with families abroad. Let's say you live in the US, but your children or spouse live overseas. You might visit them for extended periods, maybe 3 months each year. That used to be fine. But now, repeated absences, even if under 6 months, are tracked cumulatively. More than 180 days outside the US in any 12-month period may now trigger a loss of residency review, dual citizens, and permanent residents. Some green card holders also hold citizenship or permanent residency in other countries. In 2025, having another residency is not illegal, but if USCIS finds that you are paying taxes elsewhere, living there most of the year, using their healthcare, school systems, or benefits, they may determine that your true residence is not in the United States. This is especially critical for immigrants from Canada, the UK, EU countries, India, and the Caribbean, where dual residency is more common. Future travel plans could be restricted. The hidden danger most are ignoring? Let's be honest. For years, many green card holders treated international travel as routine. A quick trip to visit family in India, a few months in the Philippines to take care of property, or a summer abroad in Nigeria, Jamaica, or the UK to reconnect with loved ones. But in 2025, that casual freedom no longer exists. CBP, Customs and Border Protection, has now been given new internal directives. And quietly, without public warning, officers are denying re-entry to green card holders who spent too much time outside the U.S., flagging travelers who can't immediately prove they still live in the U.S., asking for utility bills, U.S. job letters, mortgage papers, or school records right at the airport, referring returning residents to secondary inspection rooms for deep questioning, holding travelers for hours while cross-checking tax history and foreign property ownership. Think about that. You've lived in the U.S. for years. You've built a life. You've followed the law. But suddenly, at the airport gate, you're being asked to prove your loyalty, justify your absence, and defend your place in a country you thought you belonged to. Now, let's go deeper. Even if you're allowed back in, your record may be marked with re-entry warning status. And if that happens more than once, your file could be escalated for removal proceedings. There's even growing internal discussion within USCIS and CBP to introduce conditional green cards for frequent travelers. That means you'd need to renew your green card more often, not just every 10 years. You might be required to check in digitally every 6 months, or attend mandatory interviews to prove your U.S. residency ties. This is no longer just about where you go. It's about how often you leave, how long you stay, and whether they believe you still truly intend to live in the U.S. permanently. So to every green card holder who thinks, it's just a vacation, I'm only gone a few months. They won't care if I work remotely. Let this be your wake-up call. Your green card is not a passport, it's not a travel card, and it's no longer a guarantee. Let's be absolutely clear. This is not fear-mongering. This is not a rumor. This is real U.S. immigration enforcement, and it's already reshaping lives across the country in 2025. Thousands of people have already lost re-entry at the airport, had their green cards placed under review, or were denied naturalization after years of waiting, all because of simple, avoidable mistakes. And the worst part? Many didn't even realize they broke the rules until it was too late. So what should you do right now? Be smart. Know the new USCIS rules like the back of your hand. Be informed. Follow trusted updates, not rumors on WhatsApp or Facebook. Be intentional. Every trip you take, every tax return you file, every benefit you accept, it all matters now. And if this video helped you, don't scroll past. Share it with your community WhatsApp group. Send it to your cousin who travels often. Email it to your parents or spouse who still live abroad. Talk about it at your next church service, mosque gathering, temple event, or family dinner. Because this isn't just about green cards. It's about freedom, family, and the future you're building in America. And in this new digital age of immigration tracking, border surveillance, and policy crackdowns, ignorance is no longer an excuse. Silence is no longer safe. And delay could cost you everything. So hit that subscribe button now, turn on notifications, and drop your questions in the comments. We'll break down what USCIS isn't telling you and how you can stay protected in 2025 and beyond. Your future deserves nothing less.